Home and Away's Theo makes an enemy of a river boy. This week on Home and Away in Australia, Theo makes an enemy of a river boy as Gage catches him kissing Lacey. Earlier in March, Home and Away introduced a new set of river boys and a river girl, as we were introduced to Gage and Lacey. New character Sonny arrived in the bay back in mid-February, having heard that his childhood friend Remi had come into money. Remi suddenly found himself a millionaire when his grandmother's trust fund matured, and $5 million landed in his bank account. Weeks later, Sonny turned up, determined to help Remi splash his newfound cash. The pair grew up together in the wealthy neighborhood Remi's parents still live, and Sonny's parents were equally as well off. However, some bad investment decisions by Sonny's parents saw them lose everything, and when they moved out of the neighborhood and went to live as hippies up the coast, Sonny struggled to cope with his family's fall from grace. When Sonny found himself with no sense of direction, Remi sold his motorbike and gave Sonny the cash, instructing him to head off and see the world. He recently returned from South America, and it didn't take long for him to hear through the grapevine that his old friend had struck gold. It seemed to be a joyous reunion for Sonny and Remi, but Sonny was hiding his resentment for his childhood friend, angry that Remi seemingly always landed on his feet despite Remi's friends doing their best to explain that Remi had endured his fair share of hardship since arriving in Summer Bay back in 2022. Having befriended fellow car enthusiast Theo, Matt Evans, Sonny aired his frustration that Remi lives a charmed life, and that when he falls, there's always a bucket of money and a beautiful woman to catch him. He said about making full use of Remi's millions, treating Salt's clientele to rounds of free drinks, and when Remi handed over his credit card, Sonny began to take advantage. Before long, he'd spent thousands of dollars of Remi's money. As Sonny bonded with Remi's girlfriend Bree, he mistook her friendship for something more, and leaned in for a kiss. Bree pulled away, and when Remi discovered what Sonny had done, he cut him off immediately, and ordered him out of the house. Their friendship was over. Sonny soon came to the realization that he was the one in the wrong, and set about trying to make it up to Remi, starting with paying him back everything that he'd spent. However, without a job or any other source of income, that would be easier said than done. Enter Gage, the River Boys' latest leader. The two met as Sonny drank at Salt one evening, and Gage told him that if he ever wanted to raise some quick cash, he should give him a call. In his short time in the Bay, Sonny had also befriended Theo as they bonded over their love of cars. After calling Gage to find out more about his tempting offer, Sonny took Theo along to meet him, and they found themselves at a compound filled with modified cars. Spotting Gage's blood and sand tattoo, Theo quickly realized that he and his mates were river boys, and knew that he and Sonny needed to make a swift getaway. However, Theo then caught sight of Lacey, who was working on a car in the compound. Some flirty banter later and Theo'd had a change of heart. Maybe it was worth seeing what Gage had in store for them after all. Theo was clearly impressed by what was in front of him. There's some major horsepower underneath that hood. I doubt you could handle what's underneath here, Lacey flirted. Wouldn't stop me from trying, Theo flirted back, as his interest moved from the car to Lacey herself. Gage tasked Theo and Sonny with fixing the engine of one of their cars, which they were obviously using for illegal street racing, and despite Sonny's reservations, Theo set to work. Yet they soon caught sight of Lacey and Gage with their hands all over each other, as Theo realized that the river girl he'd been flirting with was Gage's girlfriend. A few hours later, they walked away with a wad of cash, amazed at how much they were getting paid for such little work. Theo's flirt with danger didn't put him off, and the pair soon returned to the compound for another day's work. When one of Gage's drivers was forced to pull out, Theo offered up his services as a driver, and he took part in his first illegal street race, and won. Last week, as Sonny was walking through the bay, he was shocked to find Theo and Lacey kissing in Theo's car. He warned Theo that he was playing with fire, but despite the clear danger Gage presented, it seems Theo is willing to take the risk. A new promo has teased that Theo will be caught out later this week. as Gage catches him and Lacey getting hot and heavy. They're playing a dangerous game. The voiceover tells us as the new promo shows Theo and Lacey running into Summer Bay Auto. Within seconds, Theo has Lacey over the side of a car, their hands all over each other. "I swear you've got some kind of death wish," Sonny tells Theo. Gage then tells Lacey, "You know I don't like people touching my property," as he kisses her hand. Then, as Lacey and Theo sit at a table in Salt, while Gage is just meters away at the bar, Theo tells his new crush, "The things I'd do if he wasn't here." As Theo strokes Lacey's leg with his foot, Lacey tells him, "You're crazy." Then, as the pair later kiss in Theo's car outside, Lacey warns him, "You're asking for trouble." "I know," Theo replies. At that moment, Gage walks around the corner to spot his girlfriend and his new driver kissing, his face giving away the anger he's feeling. How will he get his revenge on Theo? Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more movie spoilers next week. Goodbye and see you again.